Hello everyone, we are live from Bethel, Pontyclean. I'll just hold on for a couple of minutes to see if we have anyone joining us, and if not, I'll just begin. We're going to be talking from Luke chapter 8 verse 49 through to 56 this morning. And there it is. Hi Meg. So we're going to be carrying on from where Meg left off yesterday in terms of Luke chapter 8, and a story that, the one I'm reading about today is actually quite a famous one, and I'm just going to hold off for just another few moments just to see if we have any more join us live. I'm only going to be a few minutes this morning, so if you can hold off, you can see whether I do a better job than Meg did yesterday in terms of going live. Each day at about 10 o'clock, we aim to go live. We're starting to go live with a daily thought. And we'd love to hear from people as we read through this. So if you want to comment, any thoughts, hello, just let us know that you're there, then feel free to do that. But I'm going to be reading, as I said, from Luke chapter 8, verse 49 through to 56, and then sharing just a couple of thoughts on a great passage. So please feel free to hold on, and as I said, if you want to share something, share a thought, share an idea about the passage that I'm reading from, then you are welcome to do so. So let's read then from Luke 8 verse 49 through to the end of this chapter. While Jesus was still speaking, someone came from the house of Jairus, the synagogue leader. "Your daughter is dead," he said. "Don't bother the teacher anymore." Hearing this, Jesus said to Jairus, "Don't be afraid, just believe and she will be healed." When he arrived at the house of Jairus, he did not let anyone go in with him except Peter, John, and James, and the child's father and mother. Meanwhile, all the people were wailing and mourning for her. "Stop wailing," Jesus said. "She is not dead, but asleep." They laughed at him, knowing that she was dead, but he took her by the hand and said, "My child, get up." Her spirit returned, and once she stood up, then Jesus told them to give her something to eat. Her parents were astonished, but he ordered them not to tell anyone what had happened. A great passage there from Luke chapter 8, and I'm reading it from this Bible, which is actually Meg's because I left mine at home. But that story that is one that's very famous, and I'm only going to spend a couple of minutes at the most just sharing about it. So if you want to hold on, if you're watching, please feel free to do that. But I love this story because it's one of the most famous Bible stories, this story of Jesus healing a religious leader's daughter. And the thing that I love about it, one of the things I love about it, is the fact that this amazing miracle occurs, but in the middle of this miracle, another miracle happens that we heard from Meg yesterday, because Jairus, this man whose daughter is sick, hi John, hi everyone else, Jairus, his daughter is sick. Now we know she was about 12 years old, and therefore it would have been an awful experience for him, because he would have known that his daughter was unwell, and yet eventually he kind of has the guts, I suppose, to go to Jesus and say, "Please come to my house." This is a few verses earlier. "Please come to my house because my daughter is sick." But in the time that it takes Jesus to get to the house, another amazing miracle happens with this lady who bleeds for 12 years, I think it was. And I love the fact that in the middle of a miracle, Jesus just performs another miracle. But anyway, we get to today's passage. And in this passage, this moment happens where there's a celebration of a lady being healed, but then somebody comes and says to Jairus, "Don't bother the teacher anymore. Don't bother Jesus anymore because your daughter is dead." Now, I haven't got a child, but I know lots of people that will watch this have got a child. And I want you to imagine for a moment what that would feel like. A 12-year-old kid, however old your kid might be, imagine hearing the news, your daughter is dead. The absolute pain that would have overcome Jairus. And yet in the moment, Jesus, in this busyness of life, this busyness of the moment that he's just been a part of, people all over him, somebody's touched him, and we know that power has left him, this chaos, there's loads of people, yet he overhears these words, "Your daughter is dead." And he looks at Jairus and he says, "Don't worry about that, she's going to be okay." Jairus, in this emotional moment, just probably hasn't got a clue what to even think in the devastation of hearing that his daughter has died. And yet Jesus just tells him, it's okay, it's going to be okay. And he follows him to his house. And this daily thought today, if I was to give it a title, it's this: when Jesus enters the room, things change. When Jesus enters the room, things change. Because this daughter of Jairus is dead. We haven't got time to get into the fact that this man would have been going against even some of his own religious friends to go and speak to Jesus. He lets him in his home. And Jesus, with these people that are laughing at him, saying, what do you mean she's not dead? Of course she's dead, you idiot, you moron. Jesus says, leave the room, get out. All I want in here now are my faithful men that follow me and the family of this girl. And he says the simple words, girl, get up, wake up. Talitha kum are the words that he would have used. And I just absolutely love that moment where this girl from dead, from lying there with no life in her body, sits up and is awake. Can you imagine what it must have been like to witness that? Can you imagine Jairus, the father of this girl, what he would have felt? And let me encourage you this morning that you may not experience something quite like that. I know that some sadly do lose children, and the pain that comes with some of the things that go on in this world are unimaginable. But what I want to encourage you with is that when Jesus enters a room, things change, things get better. And I want you to accept that today. I want you to not worry about what people think, not worry about what might happen if you allow Jesus into your life, what might happen, what people might say, what people might think, because it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, what matters is that Jesus is real, he's alive, and he wants to enter the room that you're in today, because when he does enter that room, things change. I hope this has been a beneficial thing for you today. I hope that it's encouraged you, and I hope that, this is something that gives you hope this morning, because regardless of circumstance, regardless of situations, regardless of if the miracle that you've prayed for happens or doesn't happen, Jesus enters a room and things change for the better. So have a great day. Thank you, everybody, and be blessed.